Welcome to Celeb Club. All your favorites are here.
In Hollywood, where love stories are rare and friendships are even rarer, one moment has shaken fans to their core. Taylor Swift said yes to Travis Kelce, and the world erupted in joy. The ring, the romance, the fairy tale moment. It was everything her fans had dreamed of. Yet, in the middle of the cheers, one silence grew louder. Where was Blake Lively? The woman who has stood by Taylor's side through heartbreaks, triumphs, and some of the hardest days of her life? This is not just a story about an engagement. It is about a bond between two women who once felt inseparable. It is about the joy of finding true love and the heartbreak of realizing that someone you love, like family, may no longer be standing next to you. Fans are celebrating, but they are also crying because they feel the emptiness of a missing face in a picture-perfect moment. This is not just Taylor's engagement. It is a love story shadowed by loss, a fairy tale clouded by doubt, and a question that keeps everyone awake at night. Was Blake Lively really left out? The news broke like a storm across the internet. Taylor Swift, the global music icon, said yes to the man who has stood proudly by her side, NFL star Travis Kelce. For years, fans watched their romance blossom, from whispers and shy glances to public appearances filled with love and laughter. And when Travis finally asked the question, it was not just a proposal. It was the moment millions of people felt they were waiting for. The rings sparkled, but what truly shined was the love between them. Fans described it as a modern fairy tale, a story where a girl who wrote about heartbreak found her forever in a man who understood her heart better than anyone could. Social media exploded with joy. Swifties called it the happiest day in the fandom. Hashtags trended worldwide. Pictures and videos of the proposal circulated, leaving fans in tears of happiness. It was more than just an engagement. It was hope. Hope that love can survive fame and pressure. Hope that fairy tales can still exist in a world full of drama and gossip. For many people, watching Taylor finally find stability felt like watching a sister, a daughter, or a best friend win the happiness she always deserved. But while the world celebrated, and while Travis and Taylor looked like they were living inside a dream, some fans noticed what was missing. They searched for the familiar face that had been by Taylor's side for years. Blake Lively, the woman Taylor called a sister, seemed absent from this chapter of the fairy tale. The joy was overwhelming, yes, but so was the curiosity and quiet sadness. Because what is a fairy tale without the people who walked with you through the storms before the sunshine? Before there was Travis, before the headlines, and before the engagement, there was a friendship so strong it felt like family. Taylor Swift and Blake Lively met in a world where true connections are rare. Hollywood is a place where friendships can be as fragile as glass, yet theirs seemed unbreakable. Blake was not just a friend, she was a safe place for Taylor. Through breakups, betrayals, and the crushing weight of fame, Blake stood like a sister. She was there at quiet dinners away from the cameras. She was there for silly laughter and deep conversations in the middle of the night. Taylor trusted her with secrets the world would never hear, because Blake was the kind of friend who guarded love instead of leaking it. Fans adored this bond. They loved the way Taylor would post about Blake with a glow in her eyes. They loved the way Blake and Ryan Reynolds welcomed Taylor into their family as if she were one of their own. In moments of loneliness and chaos, Blake's presence was like an anchor that kept Taylor steady. So when the world saw the engagement news, one thought echoed loudly: where is Blake? Why has she not spoken? Why does her silence feel louder than words? Twitter threads turned into emotional debates, Instagram comments filled with heartbreak. TikTok videos speculated on the missing bond. One fan wrote, "I should be happy for Taylor, but I can't help crying because Blake feels absent, like a missing piece of her heart." Another said, "Friendship breakups hurt more than romantic ones, and I pray this is not one of them." The engagement became two stories in one. On one side, it was a fairy tale proposal that gave people hope and joy. On the other side, it was a story of silence, whispers, and the ache of a missing sisterhood. The clash of emotions was so powerful that news outlets picked up the debate. Headlines read, "Fans celebrate swift engagement, but ask, where is Blake?" And that is the power of the internet. It could make you feel as though you were living inside the story yourself. Fans didn't just watch this unfold, they carried the weight of it in their own hearts. Because for them, Taylor and Blake were not just celebrities, they were a symbol of loyalty, love, and the rare kind of friendship everyone longs for. The joy of love was real, but so is the pain of absence.